Welcome back, Talkin Gimmicks All-New, number 13, holiday edition with Julio and Ryan. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good, man. How's it going, Joey?
Hey, not bad, man. We just celebrated Christmas up here. How was your guys' holiday?
Yeah,
Pretty
man.
good for me.
It was pretty good, pretty quiet, lots of food. Not much in the ways of wrestling. We'll get into the wrestling I did watch over the Christmas break, which is the subject of what we're going to talk about later. But yeah, that's about it. I got a John Cena mystery figure in my stocking. I did get that, so that's the
Nice.
extent.
I didn't get any kind of wrestling gimmicks. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend got me a couple figures, but my family doesn't give me any wrestling-related shit, really,
Yeah.
So, Julio, real quick, we'll get into it. You're taking off to Japan pretty soon, right?
Yeah, Wednesday morning actually is my flight from LAX over there, and I leave Tuesday night. And yeah, man, got everything secured for Wrestle Kingdom 11. Got tickets. I've been looking for tickets for the event that they have the day after the New Year's Dash, which apparently are sold out, and I don't know how to buy them, so we'll see. But yeah, man, that's the plan. We're gonna go out there, maybe shoot a couple of vids that we'll add to the channel at the gimmick shops over there. I'll probably go to Ribera Steakhouse and see if I can carny my way into a jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, shit. Maybe, I don't know if they sell them, but maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I'll say like I'm Samoa Joe's little brother or some shit like that. See if they buy it.
Go for it.
Shit,
Or I could say I'm
name over there.
17. I'll show a video of 17
Oh, yeah.
and say that that's me.
Yeah, just show any mass luchador and you should be good.
Darkness Crabtree.
Oh, shit, we'll be talking about him later, right?
Yeah.
So, not much on the wrestling front. I mean, last week was WWE Roadblock. Main thing out of there, Cesaro and Sheamus won the tag titles and ended the New Day streak. So, that's kind of the only really newsworthy thing out of there.
Yeah.
I'm so burnt out with WWE pay-per-views right now.
Yeah, they do like 2-3 a month almost, it seems like now, because of the brand split. So,
It's like every other week there's a pay-per-view.
yeah. So on the show here, we every week we watch a Chikara show and a retro show. So for Chikara this week, we watched a season 2 finale, International Invasion of the International Invaders. I'm not gonna lie.
Sincerest apologies.
Ryan, okay, he apologized. It was tough to get through, but hey, you know what? It was early on in Chikara, kind of to be expected. There was not much commentary, music issues, but we'll get right into that if you guys want to. So.
I feel like it's, you know, when you go back to look at your like pictures of yourself in high school and like that version of you that's really awful, that's kind of how it was going back to this. This was like the awkward Chikara high school phase for them, I think.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know what the hell to say about that. I mean, luckily there's not that many shows from season 2 uploaded to watch, so
Right.
it's rough.
Right.
I mean, we've come a long way, I guess, right? From those days to today. I mean, that's kind of
a long way. And there's some guys that are still
for
there.
me, yeah, definitely. And those guys have proved themselves. I think the most important thing for me to take away or to like set up the show is just how little people there were in the crowd. And what a terrible crowd it was, especially from the home pay-per-view crowd's perspective. Some of the most annoying wrestling fans I've ever had the pleasure or displeasure of seeing on video.
Yeah, it was
really bad.
It was uncomfortable at times because, like, if I knew there wasn't much commentary, I would have just muted it the whole entire show because you really don't gain anything from the volume on that show. But misery, dude,
There's
by some
not
of the chants.
a whole lot, right?
No, maybe there's a couple matches have commentary, but it's awful to be honest with you.
I mean, you get Eddie Kingston on commentary.
He was better than Jolly Roger. I'll say that.
Jolly Roger. I didn't know that. Like, I know Jolly Roger from the newer seasons, but he was like the party pirate, and we'll get into that. But he comes out doing this like rave gimmick with like some laser.
Andrew
like,
WK song, dude.
Oh, so we'll get right into it. So this is actually the.
Oh, dude! By the way, you know what town they were running this in by that?
No.
Allentown, PA, dude.
Is that what that is? Is that Carson's gym?
I don't know if that's Carson's gym, but that's the home of Bud Carson's Gimmick Mall.
Holy shit! Well, we'll get it started. So it starts out with a
good friend of the podcast, Bud Carson.
Yeah, shout out Bud. I actually was looking at my wallet the other day and found his business card that I still have in there.
We got that. He gave us that like 2 Kings of Trios ago.
Yeah, I actually gave him one of our cards. This past one. So it starts out with a battle royal,
featuring everyone that you will later see come out.
Yeah, like, basically.
So weird.
They all double work the show pretty much. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think you get Melvin Snodgrass.
Yes.
And Darkness Crabtree, 2 pretty much ancient characters.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't familiar with Melvin at all.
No.
You know, I've seen Darkness Crabtree a few times. Yeah, Melvin Snodgrass didn't really bring a whole lot to the table. It's like, oh, how can we take Darkness Crabtree and make him boring?
Yeah, right.
He didn't have any of the comedic element. To be fair, he wasn't in the match for very long either. No.
Yeah, it started out real slow motion, but I mean, I guess it's really not slow motion. It's just those 2 guys, you know. So then you get a young Ultramanus, not many tattoos, or the original Ultramanus mask.
I like his theme song, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of the theme songs were actually pretty cool when they played.
It was like a surfy punk kind of song. It was really, I dug it. And
so he came out, eliminated Melvin. Then you get Jigsaw comes out next. So yeah, like you're saying, everyone pretty much does a double duty in the show. Sumi Sakai.
Right.
And you get the American Gigolo, who I should have looked him up after because I really don't know anything about him.
Oh, you missed John Thornhill. John Thornhill came in before Gigolo.
That's the one guy I missed. Okay, yep, I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, the other funny thing is like the people basically get eliminated in order of their appearance in the match. Like I think Manus and Jigsaw kind of skip that, but it's like Thornhill goes out, Gigolo goes out. It's all so in order.
Yeah. So I mean, not much from this match, but then you get Mr. Zero, then you get Blind Rage coming out. So then you get Ultramanus and Gigolo both eliminated at the same time, and then Mr. Zero wins. So interesting opener.
The crowd seemed to dig Mr. Zero.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I'm not super familiar with him, so to me, he his look and stuff comes off as like a heelish vibe. It's hard for me to understand how he could be a face at this time, but I just didn't have the relationship.
Yeah, I can't say I know too much about him either. So I think next match you get actually commentary, Eddie Kingston with Rorschach versus Jolly Roger, the raving. What do you call him?
Party pirate. He was a party pirate. He was like coming out like he was at a rave with like doing laser hands and to Andrew WK Party Hard. I mean, I knew him from like the newer stuff. I really hadn't seen him from like the old Chikara days until today. And man, it was really weird. Everything was so weird,
real weird.
Not in like a good way, like Chikara. Chikara can be weird, like slow motion, time traveling, kind of weird. But that's in a good way. This was weird in kind of a bad way.
Yeah.
Well, and totally accentuated by the fact like this is the point in the show where everyone's most hated person in this event is the big guy that sits over to the right of the ring in the entrance ramp that just won't shut his mouth. And he hones in on Rorschach in this match, and he just keeps going, it's not Halloween. there was a trick or treat chance to try to upset Rorschach. It was very strange, man. The childish nature of it,
Yeah.
it was like mind blowing for me.
You're talking about like the native type guy, or I guess it's he's like Indian. I guess I don't really know how to describe. He's wearing kind of like Navajo type shit,
like a leather
he
hat
is.
with feathers and some other like a vest.
He has the cane. He has a cane or whatever. I mean, yeah, man, a couple of times this guy gets so emotionally involved in what's going on. I swear to God, he thinks he's a star at Chikara.
I think he was going to hit Eddie Kingston at one point, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a little bit of restraint that goes on later, dude.
Yeah, really.
It's crazy.
So yeah, Rorschach versus Jolly Roger. This is where the fans that we're talking about definitely get annoying. Like during the Battle Royal, wasn't too noticeable, but this is fucking where it gets kind of hard to watch already.
Rorschach had some of that weird heat going on.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Trick or treat heat.
So, I mean, there's maybe 50 paying fans at this show, like we said. Probably, if that, honestly.
Oh, God. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Like a balcony, though. Like a second, like a balcony.
There wasn't anyone up there. It was
just
no one
up
there.
I saw some people up there.
It was just the production. Nah.
I was trying to be generous there.
I refuse to believe any of them paid money.
Dude, you notice that they kept saying, like, put him over, or whatever? Like, that's a fucking insider term. That's kind of, like, surprising that they kept saying that, right?
What he was saying, man.
Even Eddie Kingston said
that
he was pulling for Rorschach because the heels have to stick together to get over the faces.
Yeah. They kept saying get over and over, and I was like, damn, I'm surprised they're using that, like, term. You know what I mean?
I mean, sure, it's no secret, right? Like everyone uses that, but it's kind of weird to hear it at a show, like heel, face, go over all that, like from the actual wrestler.
Right. So, what do you guys take away from this match? I mean, I don't get too much out of it. Obviously, Eddie Kingston, heel, obviously back then.
Eddie Kingston, he's great on the mic nowadays, but you can tell this was like young Eddie Kingston. Like he was trying to figure it out, so at times him on commentary was kind of awkward.
Yeah, that's true.
And in the pre-shows, Ryan said Eddie Kingston. I mean, there was few moments that we had a commentary. He was probably the best one on commentary.
Yeah, well, and during his match later on, I mean, he became my favorite person on the whole fucking roster for finally speaking up and kind of giving that guy hell.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell he probably meant it. You know what I mean? He seemed like he kind of was legit pissed. The guy was kind of like...
Absolutely, dude. I think, they started sending out escorts with all the matches. They started putting people at ringside. I think it was to diffuse some of that guy's energy.
I mean, it was definitely distracting.
100%.
I know you can pay your money and you can do what you want to do, but it was to the point where it was like too much. I mean, just you're hammering the same fucking chant home or the same word or whatever, just so annoying to watch.
Yeah, like even the Royal Rumble when Darkness and what's his face were out there, he was doing a Jericho chant.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah,
like just like and especially in a crowd that small. The vocal one or two people are going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Exactly. That's the other part of it, is that really most of the rest of the crowd was not saying anything until they were getting behind him because it was just a little kid. Like, there weren't any really diehard like wrestling fans at this show at that time.
That's what I was trying to
maybe
think.
That guy.
I was trying to think, like, since Chikara was season 2 early on, like, who were those fans? You know what I mean? Like, just... they live in the town people. And they're like, oh shit, wrestling's here.
Probably like Lehigh Valley folks, I'm assuming.
It has to be. I mean,
like I don't think Chikara.
Yeah, and is there any friends and family of the wrestlers involved? Like I was kind of wondering about that. Maybe just a couple people, but you would think they would act a little more excited. I don't know.
Well, I'm also wondering if how much of that fan, actually attends the shows. You know what I mean? Like beyond this point, because I might go back and just check out like season 3. A little bit and see if he's even still in the crowd, for that venue or whatever. Because
I was telling you guys for real, like if he keeps popping up on the show, like that venue is on my blacklist. I will never watch a show with that guy at ringside again. I'll never make you guys do that.
No, I'm not sure who the ring announcer was. Do you guys pick up her name or anything? I
I
really.
did not. I don't think like she introduced herself when they introduced her.
No,
She just
I don't
started.
think.
No, I think they do introduce her at the beginning as the master of ceremonies or something, but
Okay.
whatever.
She
It
apologized for the
wasn't.
show starting late. Also.
Yeah, she did okay. You know, she was all right.
This was the days before Vlad or Loudon and all those guys. So.
Yeah. So back to the match. I mean, flipping neckbreaker from Jolly Roger. Jolly Roger wins.
Party Pirate.
Nothing crazy. So then you get Icarus and Akuma.
I love the pirate guy out in the crowd.
There was.
Jolly Roger made sure to high five multiple times. He's like, I have one hardcore fan. I'm like, how much did you pay that guy?
His cousin or something.
Yeah, his brother or something. So then you get Icarus and a masked Akuma. Kuma's injured. Icarus asked for a no time limit match against the Wild Cards with Blackjack Marciano and Eddie Kingston. They come out and sneak attack them, setting up a match later on. You notice Larry Sweeney was one of the ring guys standing by. I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
I didn't notice him until the very end almost.
He was sitting in the crowd in the end with the black shirt, little blonde hair. Yeah. But during that segment, I noticed him for the first time.
And Bryce, a young Bryce Reynolds.
Yeah. That's true. Quack, in the main event, Quack doesn't look that much different than he does today,
Yeah, he hasn't changed all that much.
You can see a little bit
aging. But, yeah. Like Hollow Wicked hasn't aged either at all, with that mask or anything. But Picklehead. We'll get to that later. So,
Pickle.
Fucking guy, man. Hope that guy had a good fucking Christmas.
Good, dude.
So, next match we get American Gigolo, which I don't know anything about.
Didn't they mention in commentary
not an appropriate gimmick for Chikara?
No.
Didn't they mention that he was like from Mexico, like wrestling in Mexico?
I know that he came out with Skyde in the main event, but I don't know that he's any.
Like I think they mentioned in the commentary in the Battle Royal that he was working.
Maybe he's one of the international invaders.
Yeah.
Okay, I buy that.
And then I googled him, and he. In some weird Mexican promotion, used to go by Gigolo Americano. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what he was over there then. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, him versus Ultra Mantis. Not Ultra Mantis Black yet. Ultra Mantis, the bug. So interesting mask. Actually, that's going to be the mask you're going to be receiving, Ryan. I think, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm excited.
Which is cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man.
Totally, dude.
I wonder when that's going to be.
I don't know, because I want to get that game.
It's going to come out on all the platforms, right? For download, probably, right? I don't know about a hard disc.
Yeah, they'll put it out on like PS4 and Xbox and shit like that. The guy. So Action Arcade Wrestling started out as an Xbox game. I believe they were one of the first people that were able to start pushing custom content and stuff out onto the Xbox platforms and stuff. So. Yeah, it'll be on those console things and Steam too, which is where I'll be playing it.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll be fun. So here we go. The match, Gigolo uses the ropes during a submission to get the advantage. Typical heel move. Referee kicks his arm off. Manus rolls him out for 2. Out comes Blind Rage, a really young Blind Rage who looks like he could be about 18 years old maybe at the time, possibly 19. I don't really know much about him either. I know that he's came back recently a little bit.
Right.
But he looks a lot different now. Completely fucking different now than he did.
Yeah, he put on a significant amount of weight since then.
Yeah, he looks really young here, obviously, like most of you guys. So, Blind Rage comes out, grabs Gigolo's leg. Manus rolls him up for 3. Not a long match. So, Manus gets help from Blind Rage for the victory here.
Okay, so I gotta point out how shitty and ask if you guys saw it. Did you guys notice the fact that only one shoulder was down for this pin, and the fact that the ref is on the other side of the shoulders, doesn't even.
Was that Bryce roughing though?
I think it was Papa Giorgio.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong.
I don't think I caught that part, honestly.
I know you mentioned it in a.
It's one of the lamest finishes I've ever seen in my life.
Really? Even lamer than the one from a few weeks ago where it was like the fucking Yago and Miyawaki kind of botched.
At least that was a communications thing, dude. I mean, this was like the ref shouldn't have made the count. Like, it just made the ref look bad.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, on to the Young Lions Cup match. Young Lions Cup champion Picklehead Hollow Wicked with Blind Rage. Hollow Wicked's theme music keeps cutting out, so we're getting audio issues. It's really working out for the show, so for them.
No.
The house isn't, the tickets, didn't really work out. The vending didn't seem like there was much. The music sucked. There was no commentary. At least they had a ring, could have been worse.
It was a short ring. It was a short ring, though.
Short ring, definitely.
Yeah.
Here you go. Right in my notes, right here. I got more music issues. Picklehead chants towards Hollow Wicked and his mask from annoying fucking fan.
That dude was so the worst,
dude. And then like the little kid started doing it too and started yelling Picklehead, Picklehead the whole fucking match.
And at least he's the heel. Like at least we could be thankful that it was the heel getting that chant, and he can kind of work with that.
Yeah, that was cool. He got pissed and jumped over the ropes and shit and did his Hollow Wicked shtick. That was cool. But still, it was fucking annoying as hell. So
it reminds me of that stupid, WWE where Seth Rollins calls Jericho Sparkle Crotch or whatever.
Oh yeah, a few weeks back or a month back. Yeah,
that was so dumb. I hated that, and I'm sure like the kids in the crowd were like laughing their little heads off.
Maybe.
I don't know. I felt it was so lame. This reminded me of that.
I read that Vince McMahon was his idea, and he fucking loved it, and he laughed so hard at it. But then most people are like, "Yo, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard, man."
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Typical Vince.
So.
Oh God.
I don't know if Blind Rage got paid like double, triple this night, but he got a lot of action fucking in this match tonight. So he interferes again in this match now. Ultramanus chases him off. They just had the match. Blind Rage hits Mr. Zero, but doesn't affect him. Blind Rage tries to distract him again, but the referee stops him. A lot of outside antics from Manus and Rage. Rage holds Zero, but Zero moves. And Wicked hits Rage, takes him out. The annoying fan actually holds Blind Rage hostage at one point in this match. Did you see that shit?
I didn't notice that.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Rage was fucking trying to get out of there. The native fan was just grabbing him like this. That shit was insane.
I couldn't tell if it was a work or what, though. I'm like, I seriously wondered if they at some point were like, let's tire this guy out, because you notice in like the last two matches, he kind of quiets down a little bit, and I think it's because he got his rocks off or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck happened, dude, but he might have fell asleep for the last two, but So two big side kind of choke slams from Mr. Zero for only two. And Rage interferes again. Wicked hits him with the finisher. Hollow Wicked retains the Young Lions Cup with help from Blind Rage. Post-match, Ultramanus complains to the ref. And he kind of helps Mr. Zero out. Hollow Wicked gets on the mic, and we have no idea what he says. So basically, Blind Rage says they beat Ultra Zero 3 times. There's kind of a third member of the night shift somewhere in the locker room that they should be watching out for, so they never know who that's going to be, they say. On to the next match. Jigsaw versus Sumi Sakai, Joshi Sensation.
That, I guess, had to do a little bit with it. At the end of the Battle Royal, eliminated, didn't he attack Sumi Sakai outside of the ring?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, I guess, they're pushing that angle to have this match to justify the double
right.
duty.
Exactly. This whole thing kind of unfolded like an episode of Raw, where they use that first 15 minutes to kind of tell you what's going to happen in the rest of the card.
Yeah, that's a good observation. It's very formulaic, very WWE.
Yeah. So The beginning of this match is pretty funny. Jigsaw said he's not ready. He kind of wraps himself up in the ropes, kind of does like a weird fucking thing. Says he doesn't want to wrestle a girl, which was pretty funny. We couldn't say that shit now.
Oh no.
No way, fuck, man.
Dude, didn't you remember at King of Trios when Tony Nese was doing that whole
Dude,
angle?
he got major heat.
He got heat at King of Trios for doing the same shtick, like, oh, and he was like doing it like, I'm a gentleman, I don't do that, and like people were not having it.
To Candice LeRae, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. At one point, Jigsaw actually goes and sits in the audience, because he's not ready for this match. Really goofy. I didn't know Jigsaw's voice was like that until in the main event. We'll find out later. I thought it was a fly-in from possibly Japan. I don't really know.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah. So Sumi Sakai with some strong, intense offense. Big splash to the outside on a Jigsaw. Sakai does a lot of screaming and yelling, if you guys notice.
She's trying to get the crowd hyped up, dude.
Yeah.
They were dead. They were more dead for this match than anything, too, So,
I agree.
God.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard. Like, even now, and we kind of see it, when they bring just these, international guys to, like, Chikara that have no people that aren't aware of them. And even now with the internet and wrestling being so global, there's more awareness of this. Could you imagine, like, in that crowd in Allentown for her to try to get over? Like, it was a kind of a bad idea in my opinion. I get that they want to bring in like international, and the whole point was the international invaders and all that, but like she was getting nothing, dude.
Yeah, and Jigsaw wasn't really bringing anything to the table either. I mean, he never really got any heat for her to feed off of. So
no,
yeah. Well, I mean, the whole match was like a wet blanket for me. It was really disappointing because I was excited to see her get into some singles action, but overall I was just disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, the big spot of this match was probably the big DDT from her, spike DDT. Big couple drop kicks from the top for her, but she goes out for the moonsault. Jigsaw puts his knees up and kind of boots her afterwards for the win. So crowd boos. Jigsaw gets a victory. And then Jigsaw attacks her post-match. Typical heel. So next we get to the wild cards, Eddie Kingston and Blackjack Marciano. You get a big stare down between Kingston and the old man that we were talking about, which I really enjoyed this.
Oh, yeah.
I know Ryan liked this a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
Put that guy right in his place.
For sure, dude. And then he gets, Kingston gets in the ring and starts cutting a promo. And the old man just won't shut up. And Kingston just turns to him at one point and says, "I hate you."
Yeah.
And I was just like, thank you.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let him talk. They called him fat. They were fucking yelling everything at him. But, I mean, I guess it's what you're supposed to do with the heels, right? I guess. So I think, like you were saying, maybe because there's only like 50 people, it stuck out so bad. But, like, if there was, 500 people, 100 people, it wouldn't have been so bad. But the guy was trying to get himself over for sure. So
exactly.
We get Kingston on the mic before the match saying how they saw Akuma and Icarus earlier about the challenge. If anyone can get out of the Kondo clutch after 60 seconds or whatever the hell it is. And then they changed it to any time. You'll get all the money, all the jewelry we have. And it was like some rinky-dink fucking little chain he had on and shit.
He was the king of diamonds.
I guess. He had like one little chain on. So, holler at your boy, promo. No DQ match. So here we go. Team Fist is the opponent. Icarus comes out by himself, fired up. No Akuma. He is hurt. Icarus gets on the mic. I couldn't hear what Icarus said. I don't know about you guys, but the mic was like fucking lower than shit, and I don't know what he said.
Yep, I didn't either.
Good. I'm glad we're both on the same page. So I'm guessing he just said he's going to fight alone. I'm guessing. So
right.
And then Akuma kind of appeared out of nowhere, injured in the previous month by the wild cards. So Akuma comes off, and then you get Jolly Roger on commentary during this match. interesting on commentary, to say the least. I know, Julio, you enjoyed him on commentary, right?
Not as bad as Jigsaw.
Dude, no, dude. This was like
He was better than Jigsaw.
no, but it was the same rule as the Undertaker though. Like all these dudes should talk.
Okay, and here's a shoot. If you don't know, him and Jigsaw are brothers.
Right,
Really?
exactly.
Yeah.
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
They have similar.
There's
like,
that whole angle at King of Trios 2014.
Oh
dude.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I don't know. I just feel like this was overall like a lot of trial and error. Like, let's throw Jigsaw in commentary. Let's throw Jolly Roger, and let's like trying to see something to like what would stick, because they were trying to figure shit out. Is kind of how I perceived the whole thing. So
Right, you got to view this whole thing from a lens of Chikara being more of a school than a top indie fed. You know, the idea that they were even recording this stuff for DVD would be kind of like crazy.
Yeah.
For me.
Smart Mark Video in the house. Shout out Smart Mark Video.
yeah, but it's cool. At least it's a cool time capsule of where were they in that time frame.
Sure. No, I mean, I have gained a lot of respect for those guys too. I mean, Icarus, Jigsaw, Hallowicked, all these guys that were putting on these shows and doing it for pretty unappreciative crowd.
Sure.
Jackass fan.
A crowd that's just going to heckle the shit out of you, and not really pay attention to your performance to a large degree. It's just like, all right, man.
That was 13 years ago.
I got to give them props.
So these guys have been at it, man. 13 years. I mean, you can tell that they love what they're doing. They've got
definitely
bounds. Like now, all those Gen 1 guys are really like so good. And the thing is, since most of them only work Chikara, they go pretty unappreciated, for people who aren't Chikara fans. But like, you look at Icarus and Jigsaw and Hallowicked, like, or even Ultramantis, like they're some of the best dudes out there. But I just feel like the non-Chikara fan loses sight of that, and they've been doing it for 13 years. You saw the beginning, and you can tell how that progression came about.
Definitely. So, not much in this match. Like Akuma comes down injured, like we said. Marciano handcuffs Icarus to the ring, and then about 3 seconds later, Akuma taps out. So,
it's like he might as well have just stayed in the back.
There's really no point of even fucking handcuffing him to the ring either. You know what I'm saying? Because he pretty much won about a second later. Then they cut a lock of Icarus' hair off to kind of remember that,
Dude, it's crazy to think this was the face team here.
Right. Totally. That was shocking for me as well.
It's so weird.
When Icarus came out in Chikara Blue, I'm like, oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came out like a baby face, all fired up. Yeah, that was definitely interesting to see those guys as good guys. They cut a lock of Icarus' hair to kind of keep that, beat him down some more. Typical bad guys, Blackjack Marciano and Eddie Kingston. I could say I don't really like the white gear. Kind of looks weird, but whatever.
Yeah. It's whatever. Yeah, it's kind of bland.
It kind of fits into the fucking whole show. So next you get, according to the announcer, Skade, I believe she called him.
Skade?
I think she called him Skade. But it's kind of like a weird name, I guess, like Skyda, whatever the fuck.
I heard Skyda. Yeah.
It's a weird name. It's to pronounce off paper for her. She's probably nervous, so she said Skade, I think. But
I think
Skyda
pronounced it Skyda too.
Okay.
In the podcast, what's his face? Podcast.
Yeah, so he comes in as the prestigious IPW AULL Mexican middleweight champion, which I've never fucking heard of in my life. But
which apparently Quack had held in Mexico before?
In Mexico. This is the first time it's ever being defended on American soil.
How prestigious for them to be associated with this card for all of history.
So I'm surprised they even let the title fly over. So a head trainer, Vittorio Monjim.
Just by the way, AULL, it does exist. It's Alianza Universal de Lucha Libre. They were founded in 1990.
What's the IPW part of it?
I don't know that IPW, like, I got different Google search different companies.
Interesting.
Like Impact Pro Wrestling was one.
He was the head of the Torimon Gym. He comes out with American Gigolo. So like you were saying before, there must be some sort of Mexican ties to American Gigolo maybe for him to be coming out with him. Versus Lightning Mike Quackenbush with Sumi Sakai in his corner in a best 2 out of 3 falls match, because apparently every title match or every match in Mexico is 2 out of 3 falls apparently.
That is true,
though. The title match.
Every title match. Okay.
No, but that is true. Like you go to CMLL or watch AAA show, most of the time it's 2 out of 3 falls.
Okay.
Right. That's why the Campeones are defending that way for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the IPW, AL, blah, blah, whatever fucking shit it is. So, first time defending in the United States. This is my favorite part of the show. The introduction of Mike Quackenbush, the author of Headquarters, the new book. Which was fucking weird. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was weird as hell.
Yeah. I thought it was weird, and I thought it was interesting because I remember at Trios when I bought it from him, he had told me that he no longer identified with the person who had written that book.
Yeah,
that's true.
I thought it was really strange to kind of think about that. Like, okay, is this guy right now on the show, like in 2003, I guess he was that guy that he no longer identifies with. So 13 years time, you got some kind of a...
Yeah, I got a few copies of that book too, man. That's a cool book.
Yeah.
So a lot of locks and holds back and forth. Skaida takes the first fall by submission. And you get a 30-second break in between each fall. Right back to the action here. Quackenbush takes the second fall with a Quacken driver for the 3 count. All tied up in 1. So pretty good match. I mean, apparently the Jigsaw at this point on commentary, I didn't know it was Jigsaw until the very end. You would never know until he said Jigsaw.
Gimmick it was just so weird. It was just so weird.
I don't know. Because you know what? During his match, I don't think he sounded like that when he was talking to the crowd. So for him to fucking sound like he was maybe doing a Japanese impression, but maybe doing a Mexican fucking, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but it was awful.
I think part of the thing at the ring, you can only fake so much because you're already improvising this other stuff. You could tell, man, he was not prepared to do this at all. He wasn't calling any of the action. Half the time was complete silence. You got some he would have been better as the referee in this match, because he was doing the gut reactions, the visceral reactions to the moves, and that was weird. The whole accent thing was really, really strange to me. It started out, I didn't realize that he was supposed to be a fake Japanese person until later on, because I thought he was going with a little weird German accent, and then it kind of got lucha, Mexican when he would talk about lucha. It was weird. It was uncomfortable. I 3/4 of the way through the match, he himself says I am the worst. He says, "Wow, I am the worst." And thanks us as listeners for putting up with his bullshit.
Yeah, I can honestly say this show made me think I could be a commentator for at least a little bit. So
sure, if that's the qualification levels necessary, sign us up.
At least I could do a match or two. So, yeah, back to the action. The third fall goes to Quackenbush with a Hurricane Rana, and he wins, but kind of a discrepancy at the end there with Skaida and Gigolo saying he kind of kicked out at 3. I guess I didn't really look too closely at the count. I didn't rewind it either, but they were kind of putting up a bitch. To be honest,
when I was watching this match, I was 8 minutes from the ending, and my power went out at 3 a.m. on Christmas, and I was like, fuck it. I didn't even catch the ending, dude.
Okay, well, yeah, the end, basically, it was a Hurricane Rana. The end, Skaida and Gigolo kind of bitch and say, no way, fucking, it wasn't 3, blah, blah, blah. Little hesitant to give the title to Quack. Quack takes the title. Right. Skaida puts the title on his waist. raises his hand, and that pretty much ends the show. So interesting show.
Can you imagine going back home and telling your bosses, "Yeah, I lost the title to this guy at this shit ass show where
Yeah, he owns the
this little
promotion.
bastard just
Put himself over in front of 30 people.
yeah."
Yeah. So as far as recommending, what we do here is we watch a show and then we'll basically tell you if we recommend it. I would say fucking shit no. I'd rather maybe fucking I don't even know what the hell I'd rather do for 2 hours, but I wouldn't watch that shit again. So what do you guys?
I do not recommend anyone watching this event. If you want to check out the main event, maybe do that, but definitely don't watch this whole thing.
I give it 5 Ellsworths out of 5.
I would give it. I wouldn't even watch the main event, to be honest.
That's like very Ellsworthy. I just think it's,
if you kind of want like some cringe-inducing early Chikara, go for it. If you want to hear Jigsaw do the worst commentary you will ever hear in your life, check it out because it is. I think it's worth kind of seeing that just for how terrible it is. If you're a Jigsaw fan like I am, I got a kick out of that. But yeah,
I think like honestly, if you're like a diehard Chikara fan, like diehard, it's worth going just to see what they were and what they are now. The only reason. If you are like a middle of the road kind of a Chikara fan, only go for King of Trios, like you can completely skip it. Just
steer clear. Nothing important storyline wise. I mean, this is just, anything that you wanted to learn about this event, you can catch on Wikipedia or Chikara message boards or whatever.
There's only one thing I want to know that came out of this. Is who's the third of the night shift?
Night shift guys?
Yeah.
We'll check it out online.
Is it Mr. Zero, maybe? That's what I was thinking. But, all right, so this show sucked. But next week we're going to watch something that's better. I was actually at the show. It was in Cleveland, Ohio, June 27, 2010, Season 9. It featured Bryan Danielson when he actually – remember when he got fired from WWE for the tie incident?
Mm-hmm.
And he hit the indies and did like his whole shtick or whatever. This was actually one of the shows he was on, so I caught this. Season 9, Faded Scars and Lines. So features Bryan Danielson versus Tim Donst, among other things. BDK was the big bad in this season, so should be a fun show to watch. Get caught up, quite a few years, 2010, so a lot newer. The music's good. It starts out with Gavin doing his guitar intro. I don't know if you guys ever seen that shit.
That was
before.
fun when he would do that.
Yeah, he used to do that all the time. I used to like that. Yeah, he used to do the guitar theme song for the show, so he does that.
That's a good segue. I have a fan question regarding Gavin.
Oh, wow, fan question. That's good.
Fan question. All right, so they ask, hey, guys, who do you prefer, Gavin or Vlad? That was the question.
Oh, man. I don't like being asked that question.
I wish you could ask
me.
That
I think it's bad.
But
Vlad.
It's not saying like one's bad or the other one, compared to the other. But who do you have a personal preference?
Vlad.
Vlad?
I'm glad he's the new one. I'm glad that Vlad didn't get replaced with Gavin. I think I would hate Gavin if he actually replaced Vlad.
I think Gavin had his time and place, but I think no one gets you pumped like Vlad does. Like his speeches before like the main events.
Totally. His outfits, like Gavin had style. Gavin was cool. But nah, man, that you can't replace the party czar. He is definitely
Joe, what's your take here?
Man. I mean,
it's like Joey's choice, man.
I love the party czar. You know what I mean? He's great. He gets me really into it, gets me pumped up. But like a big reason, not a big reason, but like when I first got into Chikara, like Gavin fucking got me into it, dude. Like I'm like the guitar intros, like all that shit. I could say, you know what? Maybe ask me like in a year or two, and I'll tell you, because I don't think Vlad's been there long enough for me, honestly, to gauge, who I like better really right now.
See,
And that's
it's
not
interesting. I feel like I've seen Vlad now just as almost as much as I've seen Gavin in person. So like for
okay.
me, in person, I feel like, oh yeah, I can say that. But you saw Gavin a lot more than I did.
A lot more. And I had a lot more
Does
personal
that make
experiences
sense?
with Gavin about Kaiju Big Battle and like
Right.
I don't know, man. Like I can't really say, I mean, I definitely like what Vlad's doing right now. Big fan of his work. If anyone could replace Gavin, it is Vlad. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
And I do.
a
No, go
good
ahead.
testament to Vlad is like Gavin cast a huge shadow over whoever was replacing him. Because Gavin, like you said, it's like he would do the podcast to go and he was doing musical stuff, and he was like he put his his print on Chikara. So for Vlad to come out and be his own guy, do his own thing, and come I guess carve a circle within the fandom where everyone loves Vlad. Like I haven't met someone.
He's charming.
Yeah, I haven't met someone who said, "Dude, fuck Vlad. We need to bring back Gavin." So I think it's a testament to him, to be honest, that he was able to step out of that shadow and be his own thing and have people support him. But I will say, to your point, Joe, like Gavin is associated to like kind of the golden age of Chikara, right? Like the all those shows and all those wrestlers that came about in that era while he was there. So I kind of like, I guess you can see it, the Gavin era and the Vlad era, which is the newer stuff, which you didn't travel as much for the new stuff as you did for the older stuff. And like Ryan said, like I've seen probably as much of Vlad live as I did of Gavin. So I'm I guess partial to Vlad, but I get your point.
Yeah, I have more experience with Gavin. Like the bigger shows to me, like the old King of Trios I went to, and Chikara Rex with all the Dragon Gate guys and all like just the bigger feel shows. Gavin was on there for me, so it's hard to say, man. I mean, Vlad's doing a hell of a job. That's all I'll say. So
He knows where all the parties are.
he is. He's the party czar. He knows where the party.
If anyone wants to talk shit about Vlad,
No, I think they're both great.
come find me,
There you
and
go.
we'll just have a knife fight.
Yeah.
Get ready to catch these hands, is what Ryan's trying to say.
So yeah, good fan question, man. Keep sending those in.
On my day.
That's,
For sure. They put us on the spot this week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't even come up with an answer. So you got to ask me in a couple of years. I'll come up with something.
I think you did better than I did last week or last fan question.
These fan questions are coming in from India, I think, honestly.
Yeah, this was like somewhere in Massachusetts. So.
Oh, that one was? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
not a Massachusetts guy.
Could have been Bacabella. So
could have been Max Smashmaster because he's that big Vlad guy.
Could have been Top Shelf Troy. Shout out. So all right. So now we're on to the retro wrestling part of the show, where this is all new number 13. We watched WrestleMania 13, where we kind of built it up last week unintentionally, really.
Dude, that's some good. We've been doing some good booking.
Yeah, some Vince Russo type shit here.
Yeah.
So WrestleMania 13 live from Chicago, Illinois, Rosemount Horizon. Vince McMahon on commentary. 8-man tag to start the show. A tag can be made to any man. When a man is defeated, his team is eliminated. Last team remaining. So get the Godwin family with Hillbilly Jim, the Headbangers, Doug Furness and Phil LaFon.
Dude, Doug Furness from Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he was one of the fire-themed guys.
Oh, yeah, because I was like Doug Furness and Phil LaFon. Like, who the fuck are these dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a new Blackjacks promo. They're the fourth team in the match.
I hate the new Blackjacks.
Horrible, right?
They're the worst.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Dude, they're awful. You were
they were my favorite in this match.
I like the Headbangers.
Bradshaw. I love Bradshaw. I don't know. I can't naysay him.
Well, all hell breaks loose to start the match. All 8 men brawling, like you would imagine. Vince doesn't know if it's Mosh or Thrasher, which was pretty funny on commentary.
Right.
They start moshing all over the place when they get tagged in together at one point. You see that?
That was such an absurd. Somebody goes in out and tags the other headbanger. In
Godwin tagged him. Yeah.
And so they're on commentary and they say now these guys are legally mandated to wrestle each other. I'm like, no, they're not. He could just run and tag out anyone else.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do what they do, which is have a stare down and then fake out like head, like they butt hips or something. I don't know, man.
No, they do the moshing.
That was bizarre.
And then one of them tags in LaFon.
Just a goofy spot.
Yeah, real goofy, everything. So huge Hurricane Rana by Furnace. I remember a lot of big power from the new Blackjacks. They were the biggest guys in the match. Definitely pretty goofy looking. Who are these bums sign? Did you guys see that sign in the crowd? That fucking made me laugh.
No,
I was thinking the same thing about Furnace and LaFon.
So new Blackjacks eliminate themselves somehow, kind of like disqualification by pushing the ref, I believe. And then
there's some kind of DQ thing. I didn't really catch that.
And then Furnace and LaFon. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you catch when King threw out this hypothetical situation on commentary where he said, what if LaFon tags in and Doug Furnace is in the ring? So he says, what if he tags in and eliminated Furnace? Would he eliminate himself?
Oh, that's
and
right.
JR goes, well, why would he want to do that?
Yeah, that's right.
And,
dude, they were so confused.
Like anything can happen in the WWF. What if Jerry Lawler tagged in and just wrecked house? And they were totally ribbing King because it did not make any, like, why would he even say that? Hey, what would happen if you? It's like,
right.
Well, that would never happen. So
King might have been on like his 5th Bloody Mary.
King was all over the place in commentary, man. He was fucking ripping Bret Hart's family during the match later.
Oh yeah.
So,
I will say though, King he's kind of an idiot sometimes, but he's very good at blurring the line of like, is this a shoot or is this a work kind of
yeah, he's great.
And half the time he's funny as hell. You miss every shot you don't take. King takes a lot of shots.
Yeah, definitely. He's funny sometimes for sure. So. Yeah, new Blackjacks get disqualified by pushing the ref. Furnace and LaFon get counted out.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that part.
Yeah, so both those teams eliminated. Down to the Godwins and Headbangers now. Let's see here. Big dive from Mosh to the outside. Vince clueless as to what White Zombie is, and asked if they ever played with Tony Bennett. The slop drop for only 2. Bombs away, big high spot. Headbangers win the opening 8-man. So,
they gave him a title shot, right? I think that was what they were.
Is that what that was? Okay,
yeah, I believe so.
Dude, my spot of the match for this was the Blackjack, Blackjack's out on the side, and Wyndham's got Furnace in this like front face lock and does the suplex over the top rope off onto the floor. I thought that was just like a cool, definitely the coolest spot that went down.
I don't know. I think the Blackjacks, both of those guys are pretty good as wrestlers, but I feel like that gimmick was super dated. Like the original Blackjacks, right? They were trying to do that whole cowboy thing.
Totally, just trying to rip off some kind of legacy thing. I get the criticism of that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not about the Blackjacks, because I think Bradshaw is awesome, and Wyndham had some good runs, but I just hope that whole gimmick was not working.
Yeah, I just thought like that. They were my favorite tag team, definitely in this match.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so on to the next match. We get Honky Tonk Man with Iron Sheik and the Sultan with former WWF champion, good friend of mine, Bob Backlund, which apparently something happened. Joe Sposto tweeted something.
There's some speculation going on.
I'll let you guys speculate. I'm not sure what the hell apparently happened with me and Bob, but
Okay, so the implication here, I only know what I saw from Joe's tweet in the tweet that he was responding to, which was that Bob Backlund was now subject to sensitivity training, and I didn't understand if this was from a leaked memo or from something that happened on Raw because I haven't been keeping up with TV. So Backlund's in sensitivity training, and someone asks, who did he show himself to or expose himself to? And then Joe tweets at you and says, I don't know, who could that have been? Suggesting that maybe you had been exposed to Mr. Backlund or maybe had some inside information.
Dude, maybe it was more than a meet and greet.
Yeah. Dude, it's a shoot. He asked me where the hotel was. I told him, and I took off. That's about it.
Yeah.
Right,
oh man.
Good friend of the show, Bob Backlund.
Yeah, Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
Good friend of Talkin Gimmicks. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened that night with Bob and myself, but I can't say. So apparently some accusations, allegedly. So
allegedly.
So back to the action here. Bob Backlund, former WWF champion, favorite of Talkin Gimmicks, and me exclusively.
We need to have Bob. There needs to be a Talkin Gimmicks like Mount Rushmore with Bob Backlund, Teddy Hart. You know, I don't know, like the special characters to our show. James Ellsworth.
Oh, the handicap hero.
Make a wish.
All right, so against the babyface Rocky Maivia, the IC champion, first WrestleMania for him. Tony Atlas looking on in the crowd, you know, first row with a couple other guys. Captain Lou Albano, I think, was up there too.
Arnold Schollander.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, they stacked the number of like legends all around this match. To like just a startling degree, and I think you have to. Yeah, exactly. And I think you just got to look at this moment in history and just say like, this is The Rock being crowned like 100%.
Yeah.
Dude, it's first WrestleMania.
To have Backlund and the Sheik sitting there together is insane in and of itself. You've got the guy that took the belt from Backlund, and Backlund is backing him up. That's
a weird faction.
Consider the full amount of like history and legacy and weight of all of the people surrounding there. Yeah, you got Honky Tonk, like one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time.
Honky Tonk was hilarious on commentary also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's just, wow, a lot of weight really, really being used to just send Rock over the moon.
Oh, definitely. So Tony Atlas looking on. Powerful Sultan early on. Kip up from Rocky, babyface Rocky versus the big heel Sultan in this match. Sultan chokes Rocky. Kind of beats the shit out of him. Then Rocky gets the whole babyface comeback and everything.
Dude, Sultan hit a gnarly looking pile driver on Rocky too.
Yeah, he did.
Yes. Yeah, dude, that was sick.
Yeah. Sheik has the official distracted. Huge kick from the Sultan. Big pile driver for only 2. But Rocky sneaks him and rolls him up for 3, actually. So Rocky gets the big win here.
I think it was a decent match for, you know, the people involved. I mean, it was decent. And that ending with that pile, I thought that pile driver was it. That was it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge pile driver, but only for 2. Yeah, so Rocky kind of sneaks him in, gets the win there. Sultan attacks him post-match, knocking JR down as well. Sultan with a huge splash from the top rope. Camel clutch gets applied by Iron Sheik. Out comes Rocky Johnson, The Rock's father. So this is kind of a cool segment, them firing up with punches and everything, ripping shirts off and beating ass. So
it was rad. I loved it.
Oh, to be The Rock, you know, or his father in that moment, like, that's fucking awesome, dude. You know, that's really cool as shit. First WrestleMania, you just got the big win. You're the IC champion already. Like, fuck, man. You're out there with your dad, fucking kicking ass. Can't get better than that, dude.
Mm-mm.
So then we get Ken Shamrock backstage, really intense individual. I kind of miss him back in the day, definitely.
Yeah.
Dude, Ken Shamrock, at this point in his career, he was not comfortable around the microphone. And we saw it last week.
Neither was Psycho Sid, real quick. Okay.
He did a little bit better this time, though. I'll give him that.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
So he's a special guest referee. Doc Hendricks backstage with Triple H, and they actually referred to her as China in this.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he must have got somehow named China and then the past week.
There was, exactly, yeah. Whatever happened on that Raw in between.
I want to watch that, actually.
What was up with Doc Hendricks? That's Michael Hayden, right?
Oh, God. Yeah. Bob Backlund just got took down on Raw right now, actually, guys.
Shit.
Oh.
Dude, by Braun Strowman. Holy shit. This is a shoot right now. What are the odds this fucking that happened right now? Live on Talkin Gimmicks, which you'll find out later than the program. But
dude, poor Bob Backlund, dude.
Dude, he's still working, still wearing the bow tie. Just exposed himself to someone. Anyway, allegedly. All right.
Allegedly.
What else would he do? I'm sure, he just shows up at the events, dude.
Oh, dude. Well, he's working with Darren Young in that whole
make Darren
great again bullshit. Yeah, so cool. Doc Hendricks with Triple H and China talking about the whole Goldust and Marlena deal. So then you get Triple H with China versus Goldust with Marlena.
Dude, Triple H, by the way, in that interview, his voice was so whiny.
Yeah.
It's not like the game that we know now.
No.
Whiny. I guess maybe because his character, his gimmick was,
the prissy bitch. Yeah. Definitely.
He had to take some vocal training lessons from HBK.
Dude. Oh, dude, by the way.
Hey, I'm a deep voice man.
That little AOL segment with HBK.
Oh, my God. Yep. That was after this match. Yeah.
Was it after this match?
Yeah. Yes. I got a note about that right there, too. Yeah, man. He was fucking couldn't figure out how to work the computer. So, Goldust with the control early on in this match. Lots of punches. Triple H goes to the outside early. Triple H tied up in the ropes. Big punches from Goldust. Commentary mocking Triple H's nose. I thought was really funny. Vince on the mic is fucking great, dude. I know I tweeted something the other day about Vince on the mic. Actually, that's when I tweeted it. It was right at that time. So Goldust definitely over with the crowd. Triple H healed the match. Getting booed all over the place. Couple close falls. Goldust hits him with his keister. And then he kind of asked JR how he would say it, and then he kind of goes, "Well, yeah, you're right, Vince. He kind of does hit him with his keister, or something like that." So,
yeah, it was strange.
Commentary is goofy.
Way, this whole angle was just because Triple H was wanted some action there with Marlena, and she shut him down. That was the whole point of this feud, right?
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, in the interview, Triple H is talking about how she, he offered basically himself to her and she shut it down, and now she has to pay with a real woman in China, and that was the whole, I guess that's the start of this whole feud.
Oh wow. Huh. Interesting. So big bulldog headlock from Goldust for only 2. China heading towards Marlena at this point, which is pretty scary for Marlena, shitting her pants. The big China kind of staring her down during the whole match from the other side, So
she should have tried to burn her with her cigar that she was lightly on the entire match.
She was puffing on the cigar during the whole match. That's right. So
very provocatively.
Yep. Goldust has him in the curtain call, but a reversal. Triple H has him in the pedigree position, but another reversal. So Goldust sees what's happening over there with China and Marlena. Picks up Marlena pretty much by her fucking shoulders or whatever. Brings her into the ring. But Triple H hits Goldust into her. She falls onto China.
Yeah.
And then gets fucking ragdolled from here to hell. Pretty much.
China shook the shit out of her.
Oh, big time.
Dude, that was legit ragdoll action.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely did. So while she's ragdolling her, Triple H hits a pedigree for the victory. So Triple H and China prevail. Then you get the Shawn Michaels backstage AOL live segment where he's trying to type on a computer and he's doing the one at a time Keith type of thing, and definitely making me laugh.
That was computers are for nerds. I'm a wrestling man kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So there's that segment. Then you get Vader time. WWF Tag Team Championship match. The challengers, Mankind and Vader versus the British Bulldog and Owen Hart.
Fell asleep during this match.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I woke up at the finish and I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'm not rewinding."
Well, Vader dominated
So you guys
Owen
have to
early
take it over
on.
here.
Owen, the smallest guy in the match, they noted, clearly. Vader should have.
That's the strategy. That's the strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Single out Owen.
Yep. Choose to go for the Vader bomb, but Bulldog punches him. Owen escapes, clearly, using this little size advantage of the smallness to get out of there. In comes Mankind, all four men at the ring at the same time. Double lariat from the Bulldog. Mankind, if you notice, is a great seller. He's fucking selling everything to hell, man. It was awesome. Looked like he's really getting beaten in there. So Mankind tries to hit Bulldog with the urn, but he misses. Then Vader hits Bulldog with the urn. Paul Bearer ringside. The Hart family looking on in this match.
We got the shit beat out of him in front of his parents.
Oh, right in front of his parents. And this is where Lawler's kind of ripping on the Hart family on commentary.
Lawler.
Saying some mean shit about Stu. So Vader's mask comes off at one point, which was kind of common at this point of his career. Then you get the Mandible Claw to Bulldog. Vader takes out Owen. Mankind has Bulldog in the claw on the outside of the ring for kind of a long time, actually.
Dude, that was like...
Vader even tried yanking his fucking hair, dude, to get him off. Did you see that? And he still wasn't even coming off.
Dude, this was like... This really made, like, things like that really made Mankind, like, a legit threat. Like, a scary... Like, as a kid, you were like, that dude is insane. Like, he's scary. And, he would, like, rip his hair out. And, like, even there, like, Vader trying to pull him off, like a dog. Like, like when a dog is biting another something, and the owner's trying to pull it out, and the dog's not letting go. So it made Mankind a legit psychopath.
Oh, definitely.
Moments like this, yeah.
Yeah, for Vader not even being able to get him off him, yeah. So then you get some build-up for the match at Julio, definitely. Your favorite match of all time, you said, I think?
Favorite match of all time.
For me, it's too fucking bloody to be my favorite match of all time. To watch him over and over again.
But the blood has, like, this is one of the matches, like,
I think it adds a lot.
It adds a lot,
exactly.
but it is my favorite fucking match.
For those who listen to our show, you guys know I'm not a big fan of, like, deathmatch, bloody type shit. But as Ryan said, like, that whole thing added a different layer to this match.
When Austin is resisting the sharpshooter and just pressing and flexing, it just makes the blood pour out of his head. So, like, it adds, like, you can see, it adds a whole element to the tension of, like, his, like, you can sense that he is, like, straining and working. It helps him sell it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of notes in this match, but, I mean, we can go here all day. But, so Austin attacks him right away, start brawling to the outside, into the crowd early on. Bunch of Hall of Famers and sit in front row, they point out.
I like how they pointed out, like, that first, they pointed out a couple things that, that Bret Hart had the advantage because, of course, his finisher is a submission hold, and this is a submission match. And then, for it being a submission match, there was a lot of brawling in this match. Like, you could have, if you didn't know the speculation, you would have thought this might have been like a no holds barred, anything goes.
Right, yeah. Last man standing.
Yeah, last man standing, something like that.
Yeah, the no submission made it a no DQ pretty much. So they brawled right fucking all the way up the stairs and all over the place, man. Right. They're beating the hell out of each other. So he puts the chair on Austin's ankle. Same thing Austin did to Bret Hart previously. Austin gets up, blocks it. Austin with a couple chair shots to the back of Bret. Austin attempts to put Bret in the sharpshooter. He's busted open hard way at this point. Gushing blood all over. Real bad, man.
Even King said that he got blood on him.
Austin, yeah, he did. Yeah, King did say that. To the point of where now they'd call the match, or even maybe the ref would go over with a towel. Things have definitely changed now. You can't get away with that
Oh
shit.
yeah.
But definitely added to the match back then, like you're saying. Austin's obviously okay now. Clearly. Brett hammering punches all over the bloodied head of Stone Cold. Austin busted deep on the forehead from hitting the guardrail.
Dude, and even lost in all that bloodiness, like Brett was working the knee though.
Yeah.
For prolonged periods of this match. And I don't know,
sure.
if within, I think Austin was cut open the hard way. I don't know if they intended for.
Oh no, he hit the fucking guardrail hard as shit, dude.
I don't know if there was enough time for him to blade or whatever. I was trying to figure that out personally because I had seen the text where it's like busted open the hard way, and it's like I don't know.
It was the guardrail. I rewatched it several times.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking nailed it, dude. It was more like a gash than like a slit. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
To me, so
yeah,
I think it was more hard way, but definitely brutal. Austin's losing blood, possibly consciousness. He has the sharpshooter on, really wrenching it. Austin does not give up, but Shamrock stopped the fight, because he pretty much passed out or whatever. So
yeah,
Brett wins, blood all over the place.
Dude, that's before even the finish. There's some interesting the figure four around the post when Brett locked that on. I remember as a kid, he's gonna break his leg right there. I thought,
yeah,
it showed because Brett has always been known for being really technical. Excellence of execution. It showed a really vicious side of Bret Hart in this match that I had never seen. And I think even Austin losing it put him over as being the badass, the tough SOB kind of thing. He flipped the bird at Shamrock, I think, at one point when Shamrock was asking if he was giving up. I mean, I think this match was what really catapulted Stone Cold into that gimmick, solidifying that gimmick as the badass, right?
Yeah. Definitely, dude. And the viciousness of Brett, definitely coming off of that, you could tell they're really building him up as a heel, and knowing how much he was invested in the kayfabe of the time, how much he really did want to be the top guy and, command of respect and attention in the ring. So I totally, I felt it, man. I can understand why it's your favorite match.
Dude, there's so many, we could talk about that match for an hour, but, the psychology, the storytelling, the wrestling, all of it was just really good. And I think it showed, Bret Hart is the best there was, best there ever will be. It showed the lengths he'll go to win. Plus, there was a definite, feud, That's where I'm, okay with blood. When there's these types of feuds where they legit hate each other. And, dude, just the iconic image of Austin and the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And, just blood gushing from his head. That is, I think that's one of the greatest images in wrestling, in my opinion. But anyways, great match. Best match on this pay-per-view by far. And for my personal taste, my favorite, all-time favorite match.
Yeah, I could have done without the next one probably, but so next match, Nation of Domination, with all sorts of weapons or live entrance theme being played. Out comes the LOD with Ahmed Johnson dressed in the gauntlet. Chicago Street Fight. Actually, Colt Cabana was involved in this match and as a fan.
Yeah.
If you look on Twitter YouTube, you could actually watch it the part where he was involved. He was sitting along the entranceway and he actually grabbed or punched a hawk or animal, I think. He's talked about it several times, but so they're brawling all over the place. There's some team literally brought the kitchen sink at one point, I think.
It disappeared really fast. They brought it in, but it never got used.
No.
There's a lot of fire extinguisher action, which I always think is really weird.
Farouk got
Fuck.
And,
That shit killed commentary.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was fucking smoking them out, dude. But let's say, so no tags needed in the match. A lot of brawling, trash cans all over the place. A botch attempt
And I
at the
didn't
pile
know who
driver.
like half of the guys were, like the underlings and shit. I didn't never really picked up who they
I
were
don't
or
even
like
know.
what was going on.
But did you see the main thing from this match was the botched attempt at the pile driver from the top of the table on the outside? They kind of fall off fucking as he's doing it.
Yeah. I
That was
was
really
glad
shitty.
that it happened like that, though. You know, it's like if you're
Really?
gonna botch it, at least bail on it like that, because
Yeah.
I don't want you to see someone like get.
it's just weird for like all these guys. They're not. I guess these guys are not. This is not the type of match they're used to, and maybe you can start seeing like the influence of like the ECW type style in having these guys go at it, and they give it a good shot. I mean, there were some good brawling aspects to it, but I think coming from that after that Brad Austin match, this match really just fell like really flat.
Yeah.
It was a really chaotic, poorly thought out. I think at one point Farouk I think gets put through one of the commentary tables and like all this fucking equipment just hits him and shit, and I'm just like, dude, nowadays they clear the tables for most of it. You don't take a bump with a couple monitors on the table. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. Did you
And,
see that
they
Ahmed
just
him choke with the noose? That was kind of fucked up. Like, that
Oh
shit ain't
yeah, my
happening
dad.
now.
I was watching it with my dad. He was like, "Holy shit,
I know.
we couldn't do that today."
No. So LOD finisher off the top with the 2x4. LOD and Ahmed Johnson win the match. They all start brawling after the match. Pearl River plunged to the manager. Double finisher off the top. They start kicking ass. So LOD and Ahmed prevail. Win the street fight. Next, you get Shawn Michaels, the aforementioned, on commentary during this main event, right?
Vacating the belt.
Yeah. So you get a Sid promo. He kind of botches the promo right away. Not expected to be good on the promo. Sid sucks on the mic. No DQ match. Sid versus The Undertaker for the WWF Championship. Out comes Bret Hart, who Jerry Lawler calls like a sore loser kind of bitch almost even at one point. You know what I mean?
You remember
dude,
on
for real.
commentary during the Bret match when Vince says, if Bret Hart loses, I wonder what his excuse will be. Like they were
Right.
already painting that picture of Bret Hart the sore loser.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. So Bret gets on the mic, I think, right? And says some shit or starts yelling, whatever. So Sid slams him. Undertaker goes flying over the French announce table. No DQ match. Basically just following up the fucking Chicago street fight, kind of an interesting.
And the
And a
submission match.
bloody submission match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was triple stipulation match.
right. So this match is pretty insane. A lot of fucking physical action, a lot of tombstones and shit back and forth. So Bret Hart comes down, hits Sid in the back with a steel chair. No DQ, so it's really not an interference. What a loser Bret Hart has turned out to be, says Vince McMahon on commentary. Thought that was funny.
Dude, foreshadowing of the whole.
Oh, that's
And Sean is
time.
talking some mad shit about him.
Oh,
too.
mad shit.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's really brutal, and I mean, you can just tell like they're both on the same wavelength, and we're getting Brett out of this business. I mean, there's some. It's hard to imagine Brett lasting another 7 months after this, honestly, because he leaves in November, right? Or the screw job happens in November of this year.
Yep, 97.
So. Man, I just can't imagine it because it's really brutal. But it's just intriguing to me all of this whole thing of where the line is for Brett on what's kayfabe and what's real to him,
Right. So
and what's real for HBK and Vince too.
yeah. So you get a choke slam in the center of the ring for only 2. Brett comes down and again interfere. Distracts Sid. The Undertaker tombstones him in the center of the ring for the win. A very slow count, actually. So the new WWF champion, The Undertaker.
I was not a fan of this match, by the way.
I mean, as far as WrestleMania, it's kind of like a weak WrestleMania, you know? Like for a pay-per-view, it would have been like a good pay-per-view, but I don't think it was like a WrestleMania-worthy fucking show, but could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the matches were, you know, for the most part, decent. I don't think there was a match that I was like, just, holy shit, this was really awful. You know, they were all at least decent, you know, watchable. Even the main event, which I'm not a big fan, like, you know, Sid and Undertaker going at it for like 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, is not something I want to watch. You know, it's just interesting. It was a different era of WrestleMania too, like having it at the Rosemont, which is an arena. You know, now
it's really not large. I saw Extreme Rules there in 2012.
So I mean, it's a different type of deal. Like, I don't think we'll ever go back to those days unless they decide to do like a WrestleMania in Madison Square Garden for some whatever reason. But I don't think money wise they would do that. But I don't know.
Now they can put NXT there, so why the fuck? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, so different times. I think this was definitely this year as a whole in WWE was just the transition year between the Brett years and the Attitude years, and you can tell through every aspect of this show, like from all the shit Brett was getting to the Brett Stone Cold match to Rocky coming into his own to Triple H coming into his own.
Same for Undertaker, because like we talked about, you know, he's still moving away from Paul Bearer. He's still getting used to being on the mic as a solo guy.
Yeah, so pretty interesting show. Kind of wrapped up that Raw we watched, you know, to kind of get everything in check to wrap up a bunch of those storylines. So for next week, it looks like, Ryan, you chose Saturday night's main event from January 4th, 1986.
Yeah.
On that show, we got WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan with Junkyard Dog versus Terry Funk with Jimmy Hart. There's one match. And you get Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth versus George the Animal Steel with Captain Lou Albano. And a couple others. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
I don't think Hulk Hogan, Macho Man's cool, you know?
Yeah, hopefully, you know, it's better than that Chikara I picked last time. So.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
It can only go up from here.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be much better than that. So that's what we'll be watching for next week. It looks like it's just going to be me and you because Julio's going to be on the road traveling, getting some documentation footage from Japan. So,
dude, I think it's going to be two shows.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, no, because let's see.
Hit me up if you need any Japanese help.
Dude, I probably will because I'm going to be the worst American stereotypical traveler. So yeah, I'll be back the weekend of the 14th and 15th. Maybe we can
it might be 3 episodes because
probably 2 because the weekend 14, 15 I'm already back in Houston.
Well, shit. Yeah, the next weekend's the New Year, so that'll be 1, and the next, and then it might be 3. Damn. Depending, you know, you might be jet lagged, so we don't want to kill you.
We'll figure it out.
We'll play it by ear, man. Me and him can hold it down. We won't blow this place up too bad. So
it'll be all right.
Yeah. So next week,
Joe, go ahead.
No, so next week, Ryan, we're gonna be watching Chikara Season 9, Faded Scars and Lines. If you want to put that in your notes, and Saturday night's main event, 86. So on the plugs, we'll get this thing wrapped up. We'll get Julio on in Japan. At Talkin Gimmicks on Twitter. I'm Joey Shoots, Julio_DA. Ryan is Wordview. We are a part of a network at STBN Network. You find them at soon-to-be-named-network.com or soon-to-be-named-network.tumblr.com. Anytime you go there, all the newest shows are uploaded right there. So anytime a network show goes up, you can check them out right there. Just hit refresh, goes right to the top. So, any last words, Julio, before you take off? Ryan, anything?
Don't watch that Chikara.
Don't watch
the Invasion. And, dude, in its place, you can watch the Bret Hart match like 3 times.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Ryan, anything?
I got nothing. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you next week, Julio. Have a safe flight, man. Make sure to grab us some gimmicks, take some pics, video
I'm
some
so
shit.
excited for you.
Yeah, man. We're happy for you. Wish we could go with you, but we got to hold it down here at Talkin Gimmicks. So we'll catch you guys next time. All new number 14 coming soon. Peace.